As, as we proceed to give you what you need, this is another episode of the Drip Tank Podcast, featuring Hunter from Downfall. Raymond,
going,
you want
dude?
to kick it off?
Yeah, sure. So we're doing the Turtles trilogy. We're not doing TMNT. If you want my opinion on it, I haven't seen it since like 2010, and I thought it was shit back then, so I don't think I'll like it now. But yeah, we want to just talk about this trilogy because it's honestly just a classic trilogy. I was personally never big on like the cartoon, but the movies I love. I don't know what it was about the movies. They were just really fun movies. They were up there. I didn't own them as a kid. I would see them on like TV, but like they were up there with like the '89 Batman movie for me, like being like those types of movies as like my favorites.
Yeah, man, definitely.
But like the first Turtles movie, it's definitely got to be the best one. I think that's like a fact. And I'm
Yeah,
pretty
there's
sure
no
you
doubt
both
about that. I think we can all
Yeah.
agree with that.
like that. It's a fantastic movie. It's an underrated movie for sure. No one talks about it except for fucking Cinemaster. They're the only people that ever talk about that fucking movie.
Nostalgia Critic talks about it, but who gives a fuck about that fucking
Yeah,
idiot?
who
He
fucking
sucks
who
at talking
cares?
about Ninja Turtles. Fuck his Ninja Turtle opinions. They suck.
He's
Fucking
a
Doug
big
Walker.
idiot.
Fucking, isn't he like a Nazi or something?
I think he's like a pedophile and a cuck.
Yeah, well, fuck him anyway. Who gives a fuck
Yeah,
about Doug Walker?
fucking terrible. All right.
That's no.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say if we ever get popular, that's gonna bite us in the ass. He's gonna
Fuck him.
be.
Fuck him. This is Drip Tank's declaration of war. If we don't like you, you're gonna get it. All right, Hunter, you want to kick it off with Ninja Turtles 1?
Sure. I don't see why not. What do we first talk about? Should I just like start with like my background on TMNT or what?
Yeah, sure, dude.
All right. Well, I mean, I've been a lifelong of that franchise for as long as I can remember anything. I mean, one of my earliest memories in life was actually seeing the very first episode of the 2003 series when it originally aired on the Fox box back in like March of 2003.
Yeah, dude, that was a great series.
I agree. It's my favorite piece of Turtles media aside from the first movie that we're going to talk about in a few minutes here. And let's see, I like the 80s cartoon, but I think as it went on, it kind of got a little boring. The first couple seasons are pretty good. But yeah, my favorite piece of Turtles media is definitely that 03 series and the first movie. And I love TMNT, you know?
Yeah, that was what I grew up on. I didn't grow up on the 80s cartoon. I grew up with the 03 cartoon, watching it on, like, what you were saying, the 4K kids or whatever.
4Kids.
Yeah, I remember watching it on there in, like, 2007, because they would always air it. And
Yeah, it would have
cousin,
become 4Kids around that time, because like when it first aired, it was still called the Fox box.
Oh, yeah. But my cousin, he had the first game on PS2 about that series, and I remember it so well because he lived with me for a little while, and we'd always play through that game. But I only really remember the first level of it, but it was awesome. Like me and him would play that so much.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Well, for me, actually, for a while, I didn't even know that they were like a TV series or anything. The first memory I got with them is like, I had like a caveman Leonardo action figure from like the 90s. And I was a little kid and I had that. But also my cousin had Ninja Turtles 3 Mutant Nightmare, which that's actually my favorite piece of Ninja Turtles media because you can play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, fucking Turtles in Time on there. And it's like, that's one of the most fun multiplayer games I've ever played in my life. But yeah, eventually I went and saw the movies as a kid. I saw TMNT on release date. It's the only time I've ever seen it. And I picked up on the movies throughout the years for sure.
I hope you don't mind me asking, unless you don't remember. Does Mutant Nightmare have the arcade version of Turtles in Time or the Super Nintendo version?
I think it's the arcade version. I know there's like a glitch you could do where if you stay back, you could just get 99 lives if you don't move.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I had the Leonardo action figure from the 80s. I think I got it at like a thrift store for $1, and I had that. And for some reason, like the back of the bandana that like sticks out, like I don't know why it annoyed me, so I just ripped it off. So like I have a Leonardo somewhere with just like the little thing around his head. It doesn't have like the little things. It's all
Yeah,
looks
I ripped the
terrible.
little thing off mine too.
Like,
Dude, I can't even tell you how many Ninja Turtle toys I have that have just been destroyed over the years. The only things that have like survived are like vehicles and maybe like 1 or 2 actual action figures, but that's about it.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it's like crazy, man.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. But yeah. All right, so we're gonna go into the first movie, and I'm gonna pass the mic to Raymond. Oh my god, I'm fucked up. Yeah, Raymond. So the first movie, what do you think of it?
Oh, it's got to be like a 9 out of 10 movie, honestly, and it's like the A standard for me, for like a fun action movie that I can just watch at any point in time, any mood, and it's just like a fun movie that I'll get into every single time. It's amazing. Um, I'm overhyping it a little bit, but I love this fucking movie.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think this movie deserves every single bit of praise it gets because it is that perfect, in my opinion.
it's good, but rewatching it, man, I can't say that I agree with you guys.
What makes you say so?
I don't know if it's just me, but I can see where as a movie it's good. You know, like objectively, not to be a fucking Caleb bitch Hafner pussy pedophile, but um, like I see it's objectively good, but watching it, it's I don't know. I can't do any child movies like kids based movies. This is obviously a little bit edgier of one of them, but I don't know. There's something a movie's got to be like really fucked up for me to want to watch it, and this just didn't capture it. There is a great quote, like I was telling Raymond though, when they're down there with Casey Jones and fucking April O'Neil or whatever. And they don't want to stay for the night, and then one of them walks up to Casey and goes, "You're a claustrophobic." And he goes, "What did you just say to me? Do you want a fist in your mouth? I've never even thought about another man." You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, now that's a
scene?
joke I think goes over a lot of people's head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I rewatched this movie twice. That went over my head the first time I watched it, and then when I watched it again, I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
They do swear in it too, which is really, it's not that out of the ordinary for a
I
kids
think the only
movie of the
word they say
90s.
is damn. Maybe there's another one in there here and
Yeah,
there.
they only really say "damn," but
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
Ninja, just kick the damn rabbit, do something, or whatever Michelangelo says when they're watching that cartoon.
he just says "damn" in the sewer, and he's like "damn," and everyone in New York hears it.
Oh yeah, that's when Raph is chasing Casey, which, oh my god, that's one of the best scenes in the entire movie is Casey Jones' introduction scene when those two guys
Yeah.
fucking snatch that woman's purse and then they
Oh,
fucking
dude,
get
that looks
tripped
like
by
a
Raphael and then they fucking hide in like the alley or whatever and then they meet Casey Jones for the first time.
dude. Honestly, it kind of looked like if you were just like glancing at it, it kind of looks like she's getting raped or something. All these fucking dudes are like pushing her down to the ground and grabbing at her. Like it looks like she's about to get fucking raped. But then they just steal her purse because it's a kids movie, so
Oh, that
they
was
can't
actually
do
the
that.
scene with April in the beginning.
Oh yes, that's what I was thinking of. That's what I thought you were talking about for some reason. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
That's pretty fucked up that you could even think about that.
No, it's just like I've seen some '70s movies like Last House on the Left and shit, where like bitches get raped, and it's like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's terrible. I spit on your grave and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hills
Another
Have
thing I'll
Eyes.
give to this fucking movie is that the turtles look fucking so good.
Oh my god, to this day,
Yes.
they look perfect.
My only complaint about the look is like sometimes the lip syncing isn't perfect, but it's way better than like the like Turtles 3
Yeah,
and
we'll get
Turtle
there when we get there, but yeah, I see what you mean.
It's
But
fucking
yeah, and
oh,
honestly, all of it is all thanks to the master himself, Jim Henson, and his Jim Henson Creature Shop.
exactly. And what happened when they stopped? Didn't they stop doing it for Turtles 3 and then they looked like shit after that?
Yeah, it was only the first two that had Jim Henson Creature Shop do the effects.
Yeah, because the second one is dedicated to Jim Henson.
Yeah,
He
because
died like the same month that this movie came out, May of 1990.
rest.
So
in
sad.
peace.
He is a real one. He's like
Yeah,
one
I
of the
love Jim Henson.
realest ones.
Like, this movie would not be the same without him. It really
Yeah,
would.
honestly, if he was music, he'd be like a really good future.
Bro, fucking
But,
like if he didn't do it, if his Creature Shop didn't do it, it would have been looking like the Godzilla movies from the 40s, where just some dude in a rubber suit, fucking doing everything, and then the actors in the suits as well, doing these martial arts in these fucking heavy ass turtle suits, is
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, it probably
Where
would have
they
ended up looking more like the next mutation.
yeah, the next
oh,
mutation.
they have that on Netflix, but they don't have any other series. Not even the
Yeah,
movies
what the
anymore.
fuck is up with that? They had the first two movies on there for like 2 weeks, and they took them off.
I know. I was so pissed because I wanted to go watch them again to do this podcast, but fucking they took them off Netflix, so I had to go out and buy the fucking DVD at Walmart because they took them off Netflix. I was so
Well,
pissed.
don't sweat it. In a few weeks, we're gonna get a new stimulus, so it's not that big of a deal,
Yeah.
money wise.
No, not even the money part, but like I just had to fucking go out and waste my time and go buy it. Like
Yeah,
I
you
could
have
just
to.
watch it then and there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that this movie is good. Like I said, personally, I don't watch it, but I would recommend it to everyone. Like I think that the characters are great, the themes are obvious, sticking together, stuff like that. It's very well directed, very well made. You could tell they cared about what they were making, that it wasn't just like a toy seller like the 1980 series was. But yeah, I think we all agree that this is a all great movie.
Oh yeah,
This is
definitely.
like the complete opposite of like the Transformers movie, because they could have done exactly what the Transformer movie did, where they just animated it like it was the show and then fucking just use it to sell toys.
Well,
Granted
don't
that
people like that Transformers movie?
I'm not gonna lie, that Transformers movie is really good. I like that movie better than the show, personally. I don't know if that's a
The
controversial
cartoon movie or the
statement.
first Michael Bay one?
No, the cartoon movie.
Oh, okay.
No, fuck that Michael Bay movie.
Yeah,
But
I never liked any of those movies, and everybody's always like, "Oh, well, at least the first one's good." It's like I thought that one was just as bad.
when I was like 6 years old, I liked the first Transformers. The
I've
Yeah,
just
me
never
too.
liked
2007 one.
Transformers all around, so it's not
Yeah,
my
I think
thing.
it's just a shitty franchise.
But they could have done with this movie what they did, that they could have animated it like it was a TV show, and they could have got those voice actors back, and they could have just used it to sell more Turtles toys to milk it, and then that probably would have killed the franchise, because there was so much like not burnout, but like the cartoon was getting shittier and shittier, so the movie
Especially
probably would
after
have
the
been shitty.
first movie came out, the cartoon like plummeted in quality like almost immediately after the first movie's release.
Yeah, so like the movie probably would have sucked too.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy, bro. But yeah, I think at this point it'd be a good time to turn over to the next movie.
Well, I just wanted to say one thing really quick. Have you
Yeah,
guys ever seen that fan film Casey Jones the movie?
no.
It's
No,
really fucking good. Like I usually hate like low budget fan films because usually they suck, but like this one had like a lot of attention to detail put into it. And there's even a scene where you like kind of sort of see the Ninja Turtles, but they're like these really shitty low budget effects. And they actually got the guy who voiced Michelangelo in these movies, Robbie Rist, to voice Michelangelo.
That's pretty
damn,
great.
that's awesome.
I'll
If there
actually
was
check that out.
if there was one complaint I'd ever have with this movie, is that at sometimes it kind of feels like the Raphael show, Like,
It does, yeah.
like he's definitely the main character of the movie, and
Well, he was
at
always
some
my
points,
favorite turtle, so I never
yeah,
know
I
what
mean,
to
he's
say.
great in the movie. Don't get me wrong; it's fun to watch him and stuff. But like,
I always thought it was really
they,
interesting that in the movie, Raph gets his ass kicked by the Foot Clan, and then the turtles have to flee New York because their lair got fucking raided by the Foot Clan and all that shit, so they had to leave town.
The
But in the
Foot
comics,
Clan,
yeah,
it was Leonardo who got his ass kicked by the Shredder and almost
yeah.
died. And they also did that in the 2003 series with Leonardo almost dying. But here they switched it to Raphael for some reason, which I don't mind. Little
The
change like that,
comics are
not a big
kind of
deal.
brutal. I read the
Oh,
comics.
those original comics are totally brutal. I mean, Shredder dies literally in the first issue.
Yeah, that's actually I would recommend that more than anything in the franchise of the original comics. Those are
I've read
fucking
at least
great.
yeah,
like the first 6, and they're fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. But now we're gonna kick it over to Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze. And Hunter, why don't you start that one up?
All right, well, this one quality wise is definitely a lot different than the first movie, where the first movie definitely has a lot of similarities to like Batman 89 or maybe The Crow, where it's like dark, but I guess not as dark as The Crow because it's got a little bit more of like a kid friendly edge to it. But this one is like full on kid friendly, which for most movies would honestly make it terrible, or at least movie series. But for here, I think they made it work as best as they could. Like, I think for this movie, they really wanted it to be like the first movie again, tone wise and whatnot. But I guess with all the people complaining that, the turtles swear and all this and it's too dark and blah, 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 whiny ass fucking parents complaining about it, they had to change it. And honestly, it's like, I still think it's a good movie.
yeah, I do. And there's like a few darker scenes, like the earlier scenes with Shredder. They're
Oh, when
but then
Shredder
when
comes back, that scene is so fucking awesome when Tatsu is about to
yeah,
take over the Foot Clan, and then Shredder just comes back out of nowhere.
yeah, it's awesome.
Which
But
I just
then
gotta
once like
say, if you don't mind me interrupting, Tatsu is a fucking underrated character in these movies.
yeah, yeah, he's awesome.
He's
No
basically
one
like the
talks about him.
equivalent of Hun, who was Shredder's assistant in the 2003 series. Tatsu is basically like the
Yeah.
movie equivalent to Hun,
Um,
and I like Tatsu more.
yeah, I would say so as well. The point when it starts getting really cheesy, in my opinion, is when Toka and Razar come in. That's when it's like, that's when it goes like a little too far with the cheesiness because they had to tone
Yeah,
it down so much. Like I get it in the first part, they were like beating the guys up with toys and stuff, but I mean, it's a kids movie anyway. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
like. But like that is Toka and Razar, like when Shredder comes out and he's like, "They're babies."
That
Ugh.
reveal scene is so fucking funny because you think it's gonna be all like dark and shit, and then they just start calling Shredder Mama.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was funny, but like that is like so off tone from the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like
Which
the
I gotta say,
fight
speaking
scene,
of Toka and Razor, holy shit, do those effects look really good too?
yeah, they do look really good. It kind of sucks that they weren't Bebop and Rocksteady because they couldn't get the rights.
I think that's for
Yeah.
the better, honestly. I kind of like it whenever a film series doesn't always have the advantage of borrowing characters from its previous source material, so they have to make something new. I kind of like when they do that.
I
Sometimes
think
it sucks, but I like it here.
Bebop and Rocksteady are the coolest, like looking visually characters of all the people.
Yeah,
Like
me
the
too.
whole yeah, so
But they're just kind of your typical bumbling idiots like Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers or something like that.
yeah, that's true.
But you know,
Fucking Bulk
the
and
main
Skull.
way the main way I see this movie personally, I see it as like a part two to the first one. It's literally just the first movie, but like continued. That's
Yeah,
what it
it
feels
literally
like.
takes place basically like right after the first movie.
So like usually when I watch the second movie, it's always right after the first one. Like I never just watch the first one. It's always I watch the first one and the second one. And
Right.
it's like I don't know. It's just I like them both a lot.
Now,
Obviously,
one thing with this movie, I'd like to. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off
Oh
there.
no, no. It's like obviously, Secret of the Ooze is an inferior film. You say to tone it down and stuff, but I feel like if they didn't have to tone it down, it would be just as good as the original, if not maybe even better.
What?
Well, one thing
I
I
think-
wanted to bring up right away was where does Keno come in? Like, and what purpose does he even serve? Could they just not get Casey Jones in the movie, so they had to find like a new character to shove in there?
I guess they didn't want to recast Casey Jones, but I'm pretty sure they did in 3 anyway, right? Or was that the
Oh my
same
god,
guy as the
I
first?
we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, it's weird too because Keno's not a bad character. I actually like him. A fun little, I guess you could say, a fun fact is Ernie Reyes Jr., the actor who plays Keno, was actually Donatello's in-suit performer in the first Ninja Turtles movie.
Oh,
Wow.
damn, really?
Yep.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, I think that this movie just has too much stupid shit.
Vanilla
right-
Ice, hello.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
worst part. That's actually the worst part of the movie.
No, well, you also brought
It's
up
it's
two
the
of my,
funniest part of the movie.
but for the
but
wrong
the worst.
reasons.
You're right,
It's not,
yeah.
It is not fun. Like, bro, like,
Dude, you're lagging.
Yeah, holy hell.
You're lagging hella fucking bad. You're
called a
lagging.
downfall, like, before this, and I was like, could you imagine
You're
if
lagging
NWA would have done
so
it?
bad.
Like, that would have been
God
terrible,
damn.
too, and I
You're
love
gonna have to edit
NWA,
this
but to
out.
put Vanilla Ice in any just shit. Damn it.
Alright, what'd
Really?
you say?
What the fuck? God damn it.
I like it.
It's like, it's just
It feels like a
stupid.
good
I don't
sequel,
know,
I
just to
think.
sum that
I don't
up,
think it's
just
as
fucking
bad as a
terrible.
lot of people say.
Yeah,
It's
like
very
honestly, it's not
ridiculous.
bad by any stretch of the matter. It's just it's disappointing when you compare it to the first one. That's the biggest problem with it. But as its own thing, it's a good movie. I still like it. Just it's
I wa-
still really disappointing compared to the first movie, and I've always felt that ever since I was a kid. But I still like it. Fuck it.
When I was a kid, I liked them both equally, if I'm being honest. Because I thought the humor was funny and all that.
Yeah, there's definitely some funny lines and funny jokes here and there.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's another thing I do like about this movie is like even though they toned it down, like the humor wasn't like completely toned down. They still act like their normal selves.
Yeah. They don't say damn though.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame, but whatever.
That's kind of like what I thought that was funny. Because that's kind of like a running joke in the first movie for like the first 20, 30 minutes.
It is,
damn.
yeah.
It's like a kid's movie where the running joke is a swear word. I'm like, like I know damn's not that bad of a swear word, but it's like, damn, really? Yeah, like.
Nothing I
It's
don't
crazy.
really care much for Turtles 2 is I do not like April's replacement actress, Paige Turco. She sucks. She brings
Yeah.
absolutely nothing interesting to April's character at all. She's so lifeless and boring. I don't know, dude. Judith Hogue was way fucking sexier. Also, Judith Hogue's April O'Neil just had a better personality. It was more fun to watch on screen.
Yeah. They're like, we just lost the track. We don't know what happened.
But like, if you really think about it, does April do anything like revolutionary in the second movie, or like anything to actually like help the turtles out or whatever?
I mean, they still living with her, and that's about it.
Yeah, then they moved out like half an hour
Like,
in.
yeah, so
So yeah,
nothing
April
really.
really doesn't serve much of a purpose in the movie. They kind of wasted her character and just didn't really give her anything to do. But I don't know, it could be worse.
Howard the Duck's a good movie, though. Oh, I thought you just said Howard the Duck. So
Fair enough, I guess.
yeah, I understand why people don't like it. It's kind of one of those movies you had to grow up with.
Another huge and giant what the fuck moment is Super Shredder's death. Really? That's how you kill
Yeah,
him?
that was so lame.
God, that was
I
so
even thought that
stupid.
when I was a kid. I'm like, so he grows bigger and it's awesome, but you barely see him, and then he kills himself for no reason. And he doesn't come back in 3, so like he's just dead. Like
Yep.
Shredder is gone from that.
Then
Dude,
so be it.
he got crushed by a goddamn trash compactor into a
Oops.
pancake, but he dies from a little bit of wood. And this time he's Super Shredder.
You could say he got a splinter.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always a joke. I made a funny.
I forgot the one for 2, Turtles 2.
What was? Oh yeah, they ended up getting a picture in the fucking newspaper with the ninja rap is born as the
Oh
text
yeah,
line or the subline. And remember, go ninja, go! I made another funny.
because Turtles 3 has the best joke where he's like, "Yo, dude, that's so bad. That's the worst one."
Do we have anything more to say about 2, or do you want to just get into 3?
We gotta get into 3.
All right,
Oh,
here we go.
by the way, they're not in China. They're in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know that? No, they're in ancient Japan. I'm pretty sure it's like they're samurai, bro.
To be fair, a lot of people don't.
They look like fucking. They look like literal shit. Like my shit probably looks better. When you eat
Yeah,
too
you
much
know, it's kind
vegetables.
of amazing when you go back to the first 2 movies and you watch like every scene with the turtles, like when they talk or when their eyes move or whatever. Like they look like they're actually talking, and the mouth movements and everything is so like lifelike and expressive. But in this movie, they just like they must have not had like anything worth of a budget to make those costumes, because holy shit, do they just the mouth movements are so choppy and like puppety, which is kind of funny because they already are puppets, but like even worse. Which all of those movies do, but like this one took it way too far. It's just like, ugh. It kind of makes sense. I mean, that's just how the turtles have always been. A
Yeah.
legorama, swing.
Oh, I don't know. And what kid at the time, if you're like 10 years old in 1990, have you even seen Wayne's World? Or 1993? If you're like 10 years old? And they wouldn't even know what swing was. I didn't know what swing meant until I was like 12. Yeah, honestly, me too, but I didn't know what swing meant. I'll tell you that. Or they're like, would you expect the Adams family?
God, the jokes in this movie are fucking terrible.
Dude, the only reason I knew about the Adams family is because my mom used to watch the Adams family when I was a kid. So that's the only reason I understood that joke. I knew people who didn't get that joke. And they're like, what? Dude, some of the jokes in these movies are outdated as fuck. Like when they're doing impressions, I forget, is that the first movie or the second movie? I think it's the first one. Where they're doing impressions, some of them are
Yo,
like
Adrian.
outdated. Dude,
Yeah.
no kid's gonna be
You
like,
dirty
oh yeah,
rat.
that's
You
Rocky.
killed my brother. You dirty rat.
Like I had seen Rocky when I was a kid, so I knew that was Stallone, but I didn't know who that was when I was a kid. I'm like,
I still
it's
don't know
like a
what that is.
it's like a mob movie too. He's like, you
Oh,
dirty
of
rat,
course.
you killed my brother. Alright, can we talk about how this movie starts? The Turtles 3 fucking starts. So they come out dancing to fucking ZZ Top.
Yeah, and fucking an 80s ZZ Top song at that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good one. It's a great song, but like, just why? Why start the movie like that?
Like, there was so much anticipation and build up for their, like, like them first coming on screen in the past two movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one is just like, look at we're dancing. That's the gag. It's a gag. It's no suspense. It's a gag. Like, that's how you know.
Yeah, the humor in this movie is just like, I'd honestly just go as far to say it's non-existent. I mean, Michelangelo puts a lampshade on his head and I'm Elvis Presley of Blue Hawaii. What?
I would go as far to say that the filmmakers were sick of making Ninja Turtles, so they made a fucking parody movie of Ninja Turtles. It feels like a Ninja Turtles, Japan. Okay, let's put them in Japan. Build some sets for Japan. Oh wait, it's not in Japan. Oh, we already built all these sets, so we have to use them. Yeah, you know why it was good in the game? Because it's a fucking video game with 8 levels, okay? And this is yes. Does it even say that, like, in the movie itself? So they just add it on the case, they're retarded. It's never ever been called Turtles in Time. People just called it Turtles in Time because of a video game. And, dude, the ending of this movie when the guy just implodes into the water. They didn't even add a splashing effect or anything. Or they could have just, like, cut to black. Literally, that would have been a better movie if it just cut to black and ended right there. They should have just they should have thrown him on hard-ass concrete and showed his head explode. Yeah. Or he's like, what, is this the movie where they're like, we're turtles, friend, the Teenage Mutant Ninja variety. That's the worst line in the fucking movie. Other than, oh, I swallowed a frog, I hope it wasn't an ancestor. It's like, you're a turtle. Get it? Japan? Godzilla land? Dude, it's a statement, not even a funny one. Dude, okay, imagine if you walked up to someone, you're like greeting them, you're like, hey, dude, and they just start bursting out laughing, and they're like, yo, dude. I'd be like, are you like retarded? Like, dude, you don't see him from the stomach down because they clearly. They probably didn't have time to film scenes, so they're like, what's a quick, easy scene? Okay, put him behind something. Put a camera in front of him. All right. Can we talk about Splinter's ancestor? Just, she says that as a one-off comment, and then the transition insists that that was actually his ancestor. What? Dude, what? First of all, what are the odds of you meeting Casey Jones's ancestor and Shredder's ancestor, of all ancestors in ancient Japan in the 1400s? You were born in 1960. What are the fucking odds of that? That's literally impossible. God damn, I hate this. This is like, yeah, if Ryan Arnold made Ninja Turtles, I bet you he'd be like, hey guys, I'm directing Ninja Turtle 3. They gave me $3. Yes, dude, I I had to watch this movie twice because I fell asleep through the first time, and I still don't even know what the plot is because I just don't like. I cannot pay attention to it. It is so boring when it's not hilariously bad. Yeah, didn't I see this as Spider-Man, where it was way better because the Green Goblin was there as an old lady? See, that's way better than fucking Turtles 3. Dude, imagine it was like, imagine like Shredder's ancestors just there. Like, or Shredder from previously time traveled. Yeah, for real. Or, or what if Shredder from a previous, like, different timeline time travels back to ancient Japan and ends up in their universe by accident, and then it actually is just Shredder, and then they see him in the burning house. Out of nowhere, just Shredder pops up and punches a Michelangelo in the face, and then he dies in the fire. Michael Michelangelo and Shredder die in the fire. Yeah, the movie. Yeah, it's like, look at the funny scenes, guys, or it's boring. Like Kevin James movies, when it's just people eating dinner, that's boring as fuck. It's like Kevin James, he's like, oh man, I gotta film myself doing something for this movie. I'll just film myself eat. Wait, what? I was gone for a sec. What happened? Yeah, honestly, just watch the Angry Video Game Nerd video of Turtles 3. That's like the best representation of that movie. Watch that instead of the movie. 'Cause I want to take a shit on it. Well, I could, because this fucking DVD set I have of it, Turtles 3 and TMNT are on one disc, and then Turtles 1 and 2 are on the other, so I could just shit on this disc, because I'm literally never going to watch it again. Nah, honestly, because TMNT is just boring. I would rather watch Turtles 3 because it's boring, but it's also funny. Yeah, like this movie's awful. I'll start it off. My pick of the week, I got Cobra on Blu-ray, and that movie is just cheesy awesomeness. That's like when you think of an '80s action movie, that's like Cobra. It's like he has a car. It's like an old '50s car, but it's all gunmetal gray, and his license plate says "awesome." And then but it's also really dark a lot of the time, but then it's also really cheesy. So like the tone is really off a lot of the time, but it's just like a funny fucking movie with Stallone in it. Like I don't really care if I spoil it 'cause it's from the '80s, but like the bad guy dies by getting impaled on a hook, and then the hook goes into a fucking like flame room, and he just gets lit on fire while impaled on a hook. It's yeah, that movie's fucking amazing though. And also the John Wick movies, I watched them all this week. They're fucking great. All right, Owen, what's your pick of the week? Or Hunter, do you have a pick of the week? It can be anything. Yeah, better than Edward Norton.